What's good, everybody? Oaktown. Rawr, got my headsets. Oh my God, I've been stressed out since noon watching the A's game. Finally to the next round of the playoffs. Plus, while I was watching that game, this crazy news about Electro and Spider-Man came. Oaktown, baby. Let's kick it off, man. I wish I had some hyphy music for you, but let's get it ready with a little DJ Chris to get you lathered up in the mood.
Shake and bake and pull it back.
Oh my God.
Hold on and get some, boys.
In the great hall of the Justice League, there are assembled the world's three greatest heroes, created from the cosmic legends of the universe. Their mission, to fight injustice, to right that which is wrong, and to serve all mankind.
Now that's a name I've not heard.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
In this, you shall know that the Lord is
Shake and bake and pull it back.
In this, you shall know that the Lord is In this, you shall know that the Lord is
Hold on and get some, boys.
Heck, here's the deal. I'm the best there is.
In this, you shall know that the Lord is
What's in the box?
Like a spider monkey.
Yo, what's up, DMC in a place to be? Keep digging in those long boxes. Peace!
I'm Robert Kirkman. Keep digging in those long boxes.
Well, thank you, Robert Kirkman. Thank you, Run DMC. What up, everybody? It's your boy TiVo in the house. I got myself all situated now. I was getting a little bit out of control, but I've been home myself and I haven't been able to yell at anybody except for the TV screen all day. So, like I said, this ain't about baseball. I'm just happy the A's have finally gone on to the next round and take on them cheating Astros. Oh, we sweep them bastards. Too bad we couldn't do it in Oakland, man. But anyway, shout out to buddy in the live chat who's coming on for this. This is, as we always do, this is breaking news. Obviously, some news broke today. If you've been under a rock or the last 4 hours been stressed out watching a baseball game like I have been, news dropped that Jamie Foxx has been in talks to play Electro from Amazing Spider-Man 2. As soon as I heard this information, I reached out to my man Mikey Sutton, and sure enough, there was more to it. We've been talking about this for a good, 6-7 months now, even way back when Sony and Disney first did their divorce. When they got back together again, Feige's plans have always been to make a Spider-Verse film after Spider-Man 3, a proper send-off to Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and all those characters, as well as the Sinister Six. This is just one small peg. I know what you guys are thinking. Everybody hated Electro. Well, Kevin Feige doesn't like what other studios have done with what he feels are Marvel's properties. Even if Sony owns the movie rights, Feige thinks those are my comic book characters. And Jamie Foxx, he thinks is a fantastic actor, and Sony shit the bed when they made the electrified Electro version of it. So before we get to the scoop from my man Mikey Sutton, let's do what we always do.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen. Cannonball!
Good old Ron Burgundy. Shout out to everybody in the live chat. Shout out to the homie Gomez, comic collector, Simon Ali, Red Lodge Crow, Pressable Defects. The boys are hanging it, holding it down for the Pressable Defects crew. Matt Forge, the Butcher, and all those boys. Sox Bulletins, Zora's Tiger, and Al Picknell over from Spine Text, the YouTube community coming together. Or I like to call y'all my IG comic lords: James Colgan, Gabe Fonseca, Victoria Pajak, JLS Comics holding down with the rent. Shout out to Joshua Nystrand and everybody who was in the tailgate. Let's get right to it, boys and girls. Since we got all the formalities out of the way, what you've been waiting for is let me take a drink of my Courvoisier. I've been drinking all day, by the way, and I work from home, but all right. The following is the Lords of the Long Box exclusive from Mikey Sutton of geekositymag.com. Make sure you check out geekositymag.com in about 25 minutes. They're going to drop the other part of the scoop. So make sure you check out the geekositymag.com. They partner with the Lords and I partner with them. That's Mikey Sutton's website. A lot of great people contribute to that website. All right, I'm going to read what the script that Mikey gave me that's going to go up on the Geekosity site in about 25 minutes. So you are getting it before anybody else does. All right. The web of Spider-Man continues to grow with the casting of Jamie Foxx as Electro in the third Spider-Man movie. As reported by The Hollywood Reporter, the likelihood of a live-action Spider-Verse film is quickly becoming reality. On July 4th, I scooped that former Spideys, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, will set to meet the current web-slinger Tom Holland in such a project. It was being discussed that Maguire would die, then be replaced with Miles Morales in that particular universe. Geekosity magazine wasn't alive yet, but several YouTube channels, including the Lords, carried the story during a scoop jam. While it hasn't been confirmed which Electro Fox will play, the hints of the Spider-Verse movie are piling up, especially with J.K. Simmons from the Sony films returning as J. Jonah Jameson in the MCU. According to sources, Electro is going to help form the Sinister Six. That shouldn't be that shouldn't be, pardon the pun, a shocker. But the six were being developed as the bad guys for the Spider-Verse movie, not Spider-Man 3, but the Spider-Verse movie. Insiders add that Kraven the Hunter will join as well. There have also been discussions for Miles Morales to either be mentioned or introduced in Spider-Man 3 and then eventually coming out into his own live-action version, since the popularity of the animated version got Miles Morales. And if you've been paying attention to the Cover Price Top 10, Miles Morales books started popping up from nowhere. And that time we told you that it wasn't just because of the PS5. It wasn't because of Into the Spider-Verse animated film sequel. It's because they want to go live action with it. So look at the little crumbs that are piling up. Mikey continues on. I am told the Spider-Verse film is moving forward and is set to follow after Spider-Man 3. I scooped this yesterday that the Sony Spider-Man spinoffs will be set in the same universe going forward. In other words, they're all in the MCU. To add, Kevin Feige will be heavily consulting on their projects to make sure there's a seamless connection as well as a standard of quality. That portion is very important. When I say Feige says a standard of quality, he means he wasn't hands-on on, the Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield versions, but Far From Home, Homecoming, that was Feige's production, his calls. He had last calls. He was script supervisor, casting calls. Everything was him, even though Pascal wants to take credit for him. Okay. The Spider-Verse films could be Sony's way of saying goodbye to the past with everything in the MCU from now on. So all this has kind of been what we've been saying for a while now. I can't say anything yet, but we're probably going to hear more about this going forward soon. Spider-Man is probably the Batman of the Marvel universe. When I see the Marvel universe, it encompasses everything, right? The most popular video game ever, Spider-Man. Amazing Fantasy 15. If you think about the Spider-Man, how many animated series have been, how many movies have been, and it's just a thorn in Kevin Feige's side that he doesn't have total 100% full control over Spider-Man, that he has to share with Sony. But when the last divorce happened right before D23, the fans spoke and they were not happy about it. Sony had to tuck tail and they had to make a new deal. The deals are still ongoing. Tom Holland isn't going anywhere. Spider-Man. This gives Sony a large picture they can do now. If you think about all the stuff they've been doing and they plan to do, Morbius, Venom 2, all of those are smaller films because they're not in the Marvel sandbox of movies. They are in the Sony sandbox, and every now and then the sand gets kicked over into this larger sandbox called the MCU. In the Morbius trailer, we did see a loose connection to the MCU because we saw Michael Keaton. The relationship between Sony and Disney is getting better to where they can personally swap these characters. There's always been a long gestating rumor that Sony Pictures was going to be for sale. All that went into the kibosh right when the shutdown happened. You cannot do these large sales with gigantic conglomerates and companies, or at least Sony Entertainment, because the value of the stock has dropped so low, you cannot put a proper valuation when purchasing these. You can't go to a bank or deal with stock options or anything to buy either the or. But coming out of this would make both companies stronger. I don't know if Sony is still for sale, but we should just be happy that Disney and Sony are working together now, even though you hear these odd projects like, there's the Olivia Wilde film that's been really mum on it, but that has, from what Mikey's been telling me and the people from within or around it, this has Feige's fingerprints all over it. From all directions, it looks like the Olivia Wilde film will take place in the MCU the same way the Tom Holland Spider-Man takes place in the MCU. The Venom films do not. So please do not spec Venom thinking that it's going to be in the MCU anytime soon. It's a pipe dream. I will say there's another property that has a better chance of it that Cates was somewhat adjacent to, and that's Gore, but that's more Jason Aaron than that is Venom. It'd be curious to see how they shoehorn, because in a Venom movie without Spider-Man, that's not really Venom, is it? That's just a symbiote. That's not Amazing Spider-Man 298, 299, 300. That's not the same. So we shall see. But the more important things is what everybody's kind of been guessing at is there's going to be a Sinister Six film. The characters are there. I was even shocked. I tweeted about it like, what? As soon as I heard about the Jamie Foxx casting, I asked Mikey Sutton, is this true? He goes, yep, it is true. And I, poo-poo that version of Electro all you want. Jamie Foxx is a great actor. I just watched Ray the other day, and he did killed it as Ray Charles, and I think he got an Oscar for that. He's about to do Mike Tyson, and that has Oscar written all over it too. You have an Oscar-winning actor who got put into a really bad role in the Amazing Spider-Man and his Electro version. I'm hearing Jamie Foxx, but they don't think it's going to be the same Electro that you saw in Amazing Spider-Man 2. Think about Kevin Feige and his affinity toward the original characters and even their costumes. Hell, even the Shocker original costume looks silly, but Feige put hints of it inside the, Homecoming. Remember the Shocker had the yellow kind of fishnets and everything. Vulture had a somewhat look, but obviously some of these characters in the comics, they kind of look silly. You can't put them on the big screen looking like that. And before you guys knock the casting of Jamie Foxx, remember what you thought when Marvel and Sony announced that Michael Keaton was going to be the Vulture in Spider-Man Homecoming. None of you guys thought he'd be a good job. I saw Birdman. I thought, Michael Keaton can do anything he wants. Michael Keaton absolutely slayed it as the Vulture. Most people thought that was the favorite part of Spider-Man Homecoming was the portrayal of Vulture in Spider-Man Homecoming. I got too many Spider-Man. So the gist of it is we're going to have a Spider-Verse film after Spider-Man 3. Expect Spider-Man 3 to build up to this Spider-Verse film that's going to have a proper send-off. Because a lot of people have an affinity to Tobey Maguire's. I argue that Spider-Man 2, the Sam Raimi version, is one of the best comic book movies ever made. The train scene when he saves all the New Yorkers, one of the best scenes in comic book movies ever. So for those of you just joining, there's about 95 of you. I will go ahead and read the scoop one more time. I appreciate you guys for hanging out us on a 5:15 on a Thursday afternoon. But before we get started, let me get a drink of something and let Ron Burgundy tell you how important it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen. Cannonball!
All right, let's get right to it. The following is the Lords of Long Box exclusive from Mikey Sutton of GeekosityMag.com. Make sure you guys check out GeekosityMag.com. I will drop the link into the live chat, so you guys make sure to check that out for updates to this story as more develops. So this is very exciting news if you are a Spider-Man and a Marvel fan. Let's get right to it. The web of Spider-Man continues to grow, with the casting of Jamie Foxx as Electro in the third Spider-Man movie, as reported by the Hollywood Reporter. The likelihood of a live-action Spider-Verse film is quickly becoming reality. On July 4th, I scooped that Spidey's Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield were set to meet the current web-slinger Tom Holland in such a project. It was being discussed that Maguire would die and be replaced with Miles Morales in that particular universe. Kigasi magazine wasn't quite born yet, but several YouTube channels, including Lords of Longbox, carried the story during a scoop jam about 5-6 months ago. While it hasn't been confirmed which Electro Fox will play, the hints of that Spider-Verse are piling up, especially with J.K. Simmons from the Sony films returning as J. Jonah Jameson in the MCU. According to sources, Electro is going to help form the Sinister Six. This shouldn't be, pardon the pun, a shocker, but the Six were being developed as the bad guys for the Spider-Verse movie. Insiders add that Kraven the Hunter will join as well. There have been discussions from Morales to either be mentioned or introduced his debut in Spider-Man 3. I am told this is the live-action version of Miles Morales. I am told the Spider-Verse film is moving forward and set to follow Spider-Man 3. So expect the Spider-Verse film to come after Spider-Man 3. I scooped yesterday that Sony Spider-Man spinoffs will be set in the same universe going forward. In other words, they're all in the MCU. To add, Kevin Feige will heavily be consulting on their project to make sure there's seamless connection as well as a standard of quality. The Spider-Verse film could be Sony's way of saying goodbye to the past and everything in the MCU say goodbye to the past and in everything in the MCU going forward from now on. We've had hints of it with Olivia Wilde doing a Spider-Man movie. There's been talks of a Madam Web movie. We have the Venom 2 movie. When's the last time we seen a Morbius trailer? But I'm going to go live now so you guys can see, what up? So tell me what you guys think, man. I'll try to answer as many questions you can. I won't hold you guys off too long. I think getting Raimi in there would be an excellent idea since he's already kind of involved now. I think there's a bit of nostalgia getting these characters together that, folks like us grew up, it's the Sony Spider-Man. The first 2 Spider-Man films were some of the best comic book movies ever made. That portrayal of Doc Ock, even Norman Osborn. I can't say anything about that right now, but stay tuned. I'm hearing some stuff about Norman Osborn and agreements that Sony and Disney may have come to an agreement with. But right now, the Sinister Six and what I'm finding is it's going to be the Spider-Men versus the Sinister Six, right? It's going to be hard for one Spider-Man to take on all the Sinister Six at once, but all 3 of them, that would be totally epic on the big screen. Tobey Maguire, one more chance. Andrew Garfield, one more chance. I know Andrew Garfield could fit in the leotard still. I don't know about Tobey, though. He still looks young. Even he's somebody in the live chat said he's 45. What's my opinion on the actress choices for Miss Marvel and She-Hulk? That is a great question, Eddie Gomez. I think they're great castings, and Marvel has done this in the past. If you think about the original characters they got for Thor, Chris Evans, they were relatively unknown. Hell, Robert Downey Jr., when he played Iron Man, was he wasn't Sherlock Holmes yet. He was rebuilding his career, and now we know him as Iron Man. So Marvel likes it. If you think about Shang-Chi, is Simu Liu from Canada. By the way, the actress playing Kamala Khan is also a Canadian actress. The actress playing She-Hulk is very good. I think she was in Orphan Black. And the reason I want to answer this is it's leading to that. And Moon Knight. If you follow the breadcrumbs for the Disney Plus series, besides WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier, who already had their MCU debuts on the big screen, I think Marvel wants to go with probably lesser known actors, and they have She-Hulk, Kamala Khan. I expect Moon Knight casting to drop very soon, and I don't think it's going to be an A-list actor because what they're doing, they want to get a young star, cultivate him, and Keanu Reeves is great. He's a bit long in the tooth. I like saying that a lot, but he's getting up there in age, and maybe Moon Knight they need a younger actor. But from what I'm hearing, from what the breadcrumbs are laid out for us with the casting of She-Hulk and Kamala Khan, I think Moon Knight they'll find a good up-and-coming actor that's not everybody knows right off the top of their head. Johnny Boy, yes. At this point, I've been really high, and this is going to the comic book nerds out there in the group. I've been really high on that Spider-Man book. That is the first meeting of Peter Parker and Miles Morales. I think they are eventually going to meet, if not in Spider-Man 3, definitely into Spider-Verse, the Spider-Verse film they're doing. They met in the animated version, so that should have given you a hint that how popular that is. Or like, and if you notice, that's Disney's MO. Let's take successful animated movies and make live action projects of them, right? Some liked them, some don't. Some thought they were just too similar, but that's what it is. The stories are there. People have an affinity for them. So we shall see. But here's the thing, JLS, about Keanu Reeves for the Silver Surfer. Keanu Reeves, when we first found out that he's been talking to Kevin Feige, there's no secrets about that. He's been talking to Kevin Feige. What I was told was Marvel's team wanted Keanu Reeves to play Warlock. Keanu Reeves' team said, we want him to play Moon Knight. And the counter was, would you like to play Silver Surfer? So all those things are laid out right now. And initially it was Warlock, but then the plans with Guardians of the Galaxy 3, we don't know where that's going to be. And then he may be too big of an actor for Disney Plus. If you know what the Disney Plus series are, it can tie down an actor for a long time. Somebody with Keanu Reeves' schedule, it may be tough to film a series like that. If you think about the Disney series, they're an hour long. The Mandalorian is only 30 minutes long per episode. It's not that much. It's like maybe filming a 3-hour movie, something along those lines. And most of it is done during post-production of all the special effects. But Moon Knight would be a 1-hour show that takes place 5-6 episodes. So it would be like filming 2 movies. So I don't think an actor such busy as Keanu Reeves could do it. I think it's still out there. The options are there, but what I know, they offered Warlock. They came back with Moon Knight, and my guess is they wanted Moon Knight on the big screen, not Disney Plus. But the Disney Plus budgets are very big, but the scheduling is a bit kind of clunky. But during the shutdown, we found that motion pictures are having a problem being developed and released simply because not enough theaters are open worldwide. What is available is streaming. Streaming has absolutely killed it with all the movies and shows that are coming out. And I can see Disney going, hey, we got Disney Plus. Let's put out as much as we can at Disney Plus while theaters get back to normal. Because right now I'm in Southern California. Orange County has limited capacity theaters open. LA County still does not. LA County and New York and LA are the 2 largest, budget or box offices in America. So that's where they get predominant. Most of the movies ticket sales are in LA and New York, the largest markets in North America. So I'd be curious to see what they do. But you could tell now the news is slowly crumbling out. I mean, we had She-Hulk, Kamala Khan just come out weeks within each other. I would expect Moon Knight in the next few weeks. I'm also hearing that Marvel is planning their own virtual fandom. They want to do their own separate from Disney. D23 is coming in 2022, but Marvel wants their own. They saw how successful, or at least the first half of DC fandom get the views cut off significantly when they did the follow-up a few weeks later. But Marvel missed out on San Diego Comic-Con. They missed out on D23 this year. They want to build up the hype for all their properties. And I think them doing some type of virtual fandom, because we don't know what's happening with San Diego Comic-Con next year. If it happens, if it's limited capacity, D23 is not to 2022. So if they can do a virtual one, now that they've got more, they have tons of footage for WandaVision, Falcon Winter Soldier, Shang-Chi's filming, Black Widow's wrapped, Eternals is wrapped. They have a lot of stuff that they could totally pull off a 2-hour presentation and just to get the fan base excited again. Now with the Sony stuff, I mean, they need a platform to tell everybody, you don't want me telling 80, 90, 100 people about the Spider-Man stuff. So that's where it is right now. Go check out our previous scoops about the Spider-Verse stuff. And in 5 minutes, go check out geekositymag.com. They're going to have something. We did a scoop jam with our friends over at the Cosmic Wonder about where Sony and Marvel were heading with the Spider-Verse films. They want to get a bigger $1 billion franchise. I think they could do it. So there you go, man. Yeah. So if you have any questions, I don't know about the X-Men and the Fantastic Four. That's still, there's so much stuff they still got to do. Put it this way. they're filming Shang-Chi right now. Eternals is finished. Black Widow. They have all the stuff that's still waiting that got pushed back to 2021. 2021. So Black Widow's not coming out till May of 2021. So the productions for the FF, I'm pretty sure they already have ideas for it, but there's just so much you can do with the production company when you have multiple projects pushed back. So you kind of have to wait for everything. So we just kind of wait and hopefully we'll get something. But luckily, just think about if we didn't have Disney Plus right now or HBO Max in the bubble that we're in right now, we'd be screwed because movie theaters aren't able to show things. So just be happy we have a streaming product out there that we can see DC stuff and Marvel stuff and Disney stuff. So hopefully they get it all worked out. And we shall see. Toby kept what Marissa told me. Don't be doing that, made that wrong. Don't be doing that, made that wrong. Shout out to everybody in the live chat. Craig Dubik, my man Sybil, what's going on? I hope I said that right. Syllable. I was on his live chat the other night, having talking some DC stuff. So good time to be a fanboy. Good time to be a fanboy, man. I was just thinking about how come I haven't seen another Morbius trailer or Venom 2 trailer, right? I was just thinking about that. And then we get the Jamie Foxx news. That is crazy, man. I don't think we're ever going to see a Spawn trailer. Crazy, man. Just to think, Bloodshot came out this year. Birds of Prey came out this year. I'm thinking like what other, by the way, Unknown Origins on Netflix, best comic book movie of the year, hands down. Go out and see Unknown Origins, man. Just go see Unknown Origins. That'll get your fix. If you're a Batman fan, you will love Unknown Origins. It's basically, I don't want to give it away, it's a Spanish language film, but you can select the English dub. I would say watching both if you can keep up the subtitles. It is in Spanish. I believe it's Castilian, so they speak very, very quickly. It's hard to keep up with the subtitles, but the English dub is perfectly fine. Go peep out Unknown Origins. I swear to God, it is a great, great movie, and I hope they make a sequel. Stay to the very end. There's an end credit scene for that. And that's it, boys and girls. So shout out to everybody in the live chat. Go check out Geekosity Mag on their website and also check them out on Facebook. They're going to have something else following this up. Until next time, I am going to go celebrate the Oakland A's win. Shout out to everybody in the live chat. I will talk to you guys soon. Until next time, boys and girls, keep digging in them long boxes. Peace out.
Now let's do this. Rewind, select and come again. Pull up that from the top to the very last. Jump.
Who are you to make their lives bitter in hard bondage? In this you shall know that the Lord is faithful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, do it. We're here. We're back. Word up. Get super job. You can't get fresher than this.
In the great hall of the Justice League, there are assembled the world's 5 greatest heroes. Their mission, to fight injustice, to right that which is wrong, and to serve all mankind.
When it comes, I won't even notice. Oh, how so? I'll be too busy looking good.
You can't understand.